everybody. I'm Diane Brady. I'm here with Mark Barrocas, the newly minted, I guess you could say, public company SharkNinja, president and CEO. You just had your spinoff, I'm going to say this week. Congratulations.
Thank you very much for having me.
Tell me about the logic behind that, because a lot of people I talk to try to avoid. I know, this is not an IPO, but they try to avoid being a public company. Did that ever cross your mind?
Well, so we went public on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange in 2019 as a subsidiary of JS Global.
Right.
Fast forward a few years, and we think we have an amazing story to tell. I mean, we're a business with significant scale, nearly $4 billion in revenue.
You have the Shark vacuums. I know Ninja. We've got the Ninja blenders in our kitchen.
So yeah,
tell us a bit more about the company.
On the Shark side, Shark is a multi-billion-dollar brand focused on vacuums, floor care, beauty that we just entered into recently, and hair care, as well as home environment.
That's an odd brand extension for vacuums to hair care. Oh, like hair dryers, like Dyson sort of thing.
Hair dryers, exactly. I mean, look, the business is in 27 different product categories. Mm-hmm. We're in 25 markets around the world. So we're constantly looking for, consumer problems, either known or unknown consumer problems. And we have 750 engineers around the world that are focused on solving those problems and bringing really innovative products to market.
Do you consider it it's not a conglomerate, but by virtue of having Ninja and Shark together, what's the logic in those brand categories being under the same, label, so to speak?
Well, look, we were a small company in 2008. At the time, we only had our Shark brand.
You've been in the role 15 years. We should mention that.
Yeah, I have since 2008. And so in 2008, we were a small company. We had our Shark brand. The Ninja brand was created at the end of 2009. We had ideas to extend into the kitchen business, but we felt like a cleaning brand at the time wasn't going to be able to translate into a kitchen appliance brand. And so we developed the Ninja brand in 2009, and we brought that to market with a really innovative product. As you said, you have a Ninja blender that kind of crushes ice to snow. Yes. So at the time, all blenders really had blades at the bottom. And so when you put ice into those blenders, the ice would just jump up and you have to pour more and more liquid into it, at which point your drink would become kind of a watery drink. And so we took a different approach to it and said, why not have the blades go up the jar so that you could put as much ice into that blender and it turns that ice into snow, which becomes the secret ingredient for restaurant quality frozen drinks. And we ultimately became the #1 market share in the blender category in about 2013.
Yep. But so let's fast forward to this spinoff. Like what difference does it make? I mean, so let's start with the fact that you did the spinoff in Hong Kong. Why list here in New York?
Well, again, our consumers are here. We're the largest small household appliance company in the U.S. But being a subsidiary of a Hong Kong public company, most of our investor base was in Asia.
Yeah.
So, I have spent time speaking to lots of investors in the U.S. and like you, they're also consumers of ours. And so we felt like the story was better told here, a story of scale, a story of profitability. I mean, the business is highly profitable and of amazing organic growth. I mean, we've grown our business 14 out of the last 15 years. We've grown at a compounded annual growth rate of 20% a year since 2008. Mm-hmm. And so we felt like, one, being a standalone company was important, and the New York Stock Exchange was the right place for us to list the business.
Is there let's talk about the pros and cons. I understand the pros. One pro is, hopefully more money, more exposure. To your point, are there any cons, anything that gives you pause that you thought about as you were listing on the NYSE? Because we certainly hear a lot about, regulatory burdens. What did you think about that as a CEO?
Well, SharkNinja has had, different phases in its journey. Our business was founded by Mark Rosenzweig in the
Mm-hmm.
early 2000s. Mark and I got together in 2008. And up until 2017, we were the sole owners of the business. We sold a majority stake in the business at the end of 2017, and I stayed on to continue to run the business. Um, we believe
Did you
that
consider going public at that point rather than selling the business?
we didn't. We were really focused at that point on trying to globalize the business, and we thought that we needed to bring in a partner to help us globalize. I mean, today, SharkNinja has nearly a fast approaching $1 billion business
Mm-hmm.
outside of North America. So, it's the fastest growing portion of our business. And so we felt like kind of in the next chapter of the business, first was a Hong Kong publicly listed company. There weren't any decisions to privatize the
Why Hong
business.
Kong, can I ask? I
Yeah,
used to live in Hong Kong, so I have a soft spot, but it's been troubled the last few years.
yeah. So we were acquired in at the end of 2017 by a respected private equity
Yeah.
firm and a successful entrepreneur who merged SharkNinja together with Joy Young, which
Mm-hmm.
was the third largest small appliance company in China.
Yep.
And we listed that in Hong Kong. And we felt that Hong Kong would be an interesting place for us to attract both Western, as well as Asian investors. Fast forward a few years, and SharkNinja became nearly 90% of the profits of JS Global. And it really wasn't the right place for us to be long term.
Can I ask, one of the things that we talk about it on a political level, we rarely talk about on the business level, sort of US, China, and Hong Kong is part of China since, 97. And I'm curious, from a supply chain perspective, or does the tensions impact your business in any way? The
Well,
rhetoric?
Well, look, I mean, we're obviously always conscious of the broader environment. Over the last few years, our supply chain is highly diversified outside of China as
Mm.
well. So, what's important to us is to have supply redundancy. Many of our most successful products are all dual sourced in multiple countries. And I think over the last few years, as there was a lot of disruption, I think you'll see that SharkNinja did a relatively good job of delivering predictable supply to our customers and consumers.
So what now? Now you've spun off. What's possible now, or what are you planning that might not have been possible before?
Yeah, so we're going to continue to keep doing what we've done for the last 15 years, which is bringing incredible speed to market with our product innovation, delivering high performance, multifunctional products to consumers, doing it at a high quality, reliable way, and bringing it to them at really an extraordinary value. I mean, we think the combination of those four things is very successful. Consumers need a reason to part with their hard-earned money. We believe that it's our noble cause to deliver what we call affordable, accessible innovation to the consumer.
It's funny. I've heard Coach say that about handbags. So that's you're the Coach of appliance. No, they are the SharkNinja of handbags. But people go public to get money, capital, or to obviously give capital to investors who may move on to other things. It's an unusual, not unusual, it's an interesting time to be listing in terms of the markets, the economy. How do you feel about the overall, situation in terms of is now a good time to list?
For us, it absolutely was. Again, I think investors are, particularly consumer investors, are looking for, a combination of three things that's very hard to find, scale, profitability, and growth. And I
Right.
think that there are companies that may have one or two of those things. I think SharkNinja has all three of those. And so as a result of that, I think as we tell our story, and as people start to understand the company behind the products that are in their homes, I think they'll recognize that SharkNinja is a successful, growing business.
I want to ask a more personal question, which is with regard to your tenure. I think the average tenure for CEOs is something maybe along, certainly less than 5 years. You've been in the role 15 years. Um, Let me start with the joy factor. Is it different now than it was back in 2008? What do you love about your job?
Look, what I love today, which was the same in 2008, is trying to figure out the next consumer problem and trying to come up with
So,
what is
what
the
is the
solution
next
to that.
consumer problem?
They exist all out there. I mean, just a few days ago, we launched a new product called the Ninja Thirsty. It's really, I think, going to reinvent the way consumers buy beverages in their home. I mean, all you have to do is to go to Costco and just see the cases and cases of drinks that people are bringing
What is
home.
Ninja Thirsty?
So Ninja Thirsty is going to allow you to make either still or sparkling drinks.
Like a soda stream.
Well,
I feel like I'm just dispensing
well,
dangling brands here. It's like Voldemort. I shouldn't mention any other brand. Go
well,
ahead.
it's going to allow you to dispense a 6, 12, 18, or 24-ounce drink. And then it will allow you to be able, through 20 different flavors, to make thousands of combinations. So if you're a flavored sparkling water drinker, I think Thirsty is going to be a must-have for you on your countertop. I have a son, who's 17 years old. He plays basketball, and they love energy drinks. And we've got energy drinks, we've got hydrate drinks, we've got vitamin drinks. And so I think it's going to be something that, in a really affordable, accessible way is going to just bring some more excitement to the kitchen, which is what Ninja has historically done.
Is there anything else on your radar that, we're sitting here this time next year? I mean, obviously, everybody's thinking about things like sustainability, supply chain. I mean, what keeps you up at night as a CEO?
Look, I think that we developed a 3-pillar growth strategy a number of years ago, which is driving growth in the existing categories that we're in. We have a demonstrated track record of gaining share in those categories. We've entered into 10 new product categories just over the last 3 years, and we're growing tremendously on an international scale. And so in a business that's really focused on growing organically, not necessarily going out and buying other businesses.
But you could.
We could.
Now you could.
We absolutely could. But it hasn't up until this point been our strategy. But for us, it's really about execution. I mean, I think, I think we have a great strategy. I think we have a great team. I think we have a lot of pathways for growth. But we've got to deliver and we've got to execute.
How was your market debut? I don't know where the stock, I should have checked what the stock's trading at, but did you achieve what you wanted?
Look, just by ringing the bell yesterday and being a New York Stock Exchange listed company today, I would say that we achieved what we set out to do. Our performance on the first day was good, but it's a marathon, and this is really about.
So what is the stock at? A lot of CEOs they know this like minute by minute.
To be honest with you, I don't. I know that we had a good day yesterday, but what I'm focused on is how does this set us up for the next 10 years, of growth for the business, and so. We'll obviously check back once a week and see how the stock is doing, but it's not something that is top of mind every day.
I would be remiss because you're out there in rooms we don't get to go, and there's a lot of interest right now on everything from inflation to where the economy's going. What are you seeing? Are you optimistic about the next 12 months?
Well, let me first say that
you're a public company now, so you have to watch your words. But just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, look, for us, it's about empathy for the consumer. I mean, I think the consumer has had a challenging last 18 months
because of inflation.
Because of inflation, absolutely. I mean, just the cost of supermarket groceries and everything that they're dealing with.
Did
on
you
a
raise
day-to-day.
your prices?
We've tried very hard with our supply chain to maintain our prices. We've done it in most every product that we have at this point. Again, we really believe it's about delivering extraordinary value to the consumer. We have seen some of the pricing pressure that we saw last year dissipate, and costs have come down. Things like freight rates are down significantly from where they were last year, commodity prices. So, we're focused on it, but what I will say is the consumer is going to keep expecting more. They're going to want more value for what they're buying. As I said in the beginning, for them to turn over their hard-earned money to any company, that company's got to go above and beyond. And I think that's what we're focused on trying to do every day.
I'm curious, Mark, when you think about the demographics of your customers. I mean, I'll be honest, the Ninja in our household, my daughter brought it in, and she's in Gen Z. And do you see different buying patterns there? Because a lot of the discussion is around the circular economy and not quite as comfortable with things that break and get replaced on a 18-month basis, which is probably my history.
Yeah. So what I would say is that, if you asked us maybe 6-7 years ago, we would say that, the target Shark or Ninja consumer might be a 35 to 55-year-old woman. I think you look at today, we are some of the most watched products on TikTok and Instagram. Our Shark Flex Style product that launched in beauty, our Ninja Creamy product that launched of an at-home ice cream maker, has over 800 million views on TikTok. So
wow.
We're attracting a younger and younger consumer. I mean, high school age consumers. We entered into the robot business in 2017. We entered into the outdoor cooking business.
What do you do in the robot business?
So we sell vacuum
and
mopping robots.
I'm not going to mention a rival brand. Such as?
We entered into the outdoor cooking business in 2022. It's bringing in a much more male consumer into our consumer base. So the demographics of the consumer is getting, much, much broader than it was,
Do you see a different buying style? I mean, obviously the TikTok resonates as a platform, but are the demands any different?
The demands are not. I mean, the expectation of the consumer is, performance, quality, and value, no matter whether it's, product being sold to a college age student or someone older. So no, we're not seeing that. But I think what's exciting is that the brand and the products are appealing to a much broader demographic base.
Do you ever worry about having too many brand extensions? I mean, what kind of things do you say no to?
We say no to a lot of things. I
remember asking Donald Trump that question. He said coffins.
Yeah.
I said, okay, good answer, right? Not that you want to put your brand on.
We look. I think you have to earn the right to introduce something new to the consumer. I mean, I'll give you an example. We had a great idea for an outdoor cooking appliance back 5 years ago, but we hadn't launched our first indoor cooking product. We became, over the course of a 4-year period, the #1 market share for indoor cooking appliances. And it was only after then that we felt like we could go outdoors and the consumer would be willing to go outdoors with us.
So you started with the indoor, you reached market scale with that, and then you launched the outdoor.
Exactly.
Okay. So it's more of a timing issue. What else is on your radar that you'd put on ours in terms of as you look out both to the environment and to your own growth?
I mean, a big focus on sustainability.
That's a sourcing issue for you?
For us, it really comes in two forms. I mean, you mentioned earlier the circular economy. We obviously get some products that get returned back to us. Nearly 75% of those returned products are remanufactured or refurbished and are sold back out as certified refurbished products, trying to extend the life of the products that we produce. Today, over 95% of our packaging comes from post-recycled material. There was a big push that we had over the last few years to be able to do that. So really being a responsible corporate citizen in the ways that are authentic to our business is what we're focused on.
Last question's about people. Actually, we could sit here all day, but the talent issue, when I talk to CEOs, the biggest issue they always talk about is the challenge with talent. Do you have those challenges? Where are they if
Look,
you do?
like any company, people are the backbone of the business and are really the lifeblood of the business. And so for us, we've been growing
So you
Our
haven't had to do layoffs.
we have not. We have, this year just in Boston, which is where our headquarters is, we've brought on, almost 100 people into our corporate offices. Today, we have nearly 100 open positions just in Boston.
Hmm.
We've expanded our team tremendously in Europe, in Germany, in France, in the UK. So, it's a big focus of ours, and it's something that, we need to make sure we're providing the right environment and the right challenges where people feel excited and inspired to be able to grow.
Does it make a difference to them that you're, a standalone public company, your employees?
Well, we had a big
It's
celebration
minting
yesterday
millionaires. Okay.
in many of our offices, and yeah, I think they're proud that the work that they've done is being recognized. I mean, even just on conversations like this to be able to tell our story.
We can announce here the stock option plan. No, I'm just kidding. That's between you and your people. Listen, Mark, thank you very much for joining us, and look forward to seeing what you do next.
Thank you.
Thanks.